Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the other side of the coin. First and foremost, ladies and gentlemen, first of all, Eid Mubarak to each and every one of you guys. It is Eid for me over here today. In a couple of hours' time, I will be heading off for the Eid prayers. So big up to each and every one of you guys. Hope you guys have a fantastic Eid wherever you are. Now, ladies and gentlemen, latest in the Chelsea front, latest in Chelsea news. The theme today, ladies and gentlemen, is that there is a divide. There is a divide, not in the fan base. Well, the fan base has always been divided, but I think now predominantly the fan base is more unified. Majority of the fan base is unified in terms of how they feel about the owners, the board, and the manager, and so on and so forth. But the divide, ladies and gentlemen, is in regards to the Chelsea board. The Chelsea board is divided, and this is an issue. Do you know what? I probably didn't deep this when we were taken over by Todd Bowley, Clear Lake Capital, and the consortium. I don't think many of us really understood the concept of consortium having many different owners. I think at that moment we were just happy that we were in such a mud in terms of the sanctions and Roman not being able to do anything because all his assets were frozen due to the political issues between Russia and Ukraine. We were just glad to come out of that and have an owner and just kickstart, just run the club once again in a normal pace. So we weren't really paying too much attention. Obviously, we made sure that the Ricketts family wasn't there because they had racist sort of background towards them. But we didn't pay too much attention in regards to consortium. I think few content makers out there, I know Eunice, for example, really highlighted the fact that the consortium could be a bit of a problem when there's too many mouths, too many opinions. You need to, it's very difficult to have a unified, outcome, unified vision, a unified direction. And this is what we are seeing now, ladies and gentlemen, where there are certain people apparently in the board that are for Pochettino, and there are certain people that are against Pochettino. And this is turning out to be a little bit of a joke thing. I mean, overall, everything is falling apart, whether it's, how we play our football on field, whether it's all the issues that's happening in the medical staff room, whether it's the manager who's speaking a lot of nonsense, whether it's the owners that have got this insane vision of bringing in all of these youth nonstop, whether it's the board, sporting directors that are incapable of running a club like Chelsea. Besides all of that, like, this divide is really a massive issue. Now let's check things out, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get cracking in. First up, I want to show you this particular tweet from PYS, but it's coming from the Byline, which is run by Alex Goldberg. I've heard there are a few people who are involved in the process of hiring a manager and recruitment who are trying to distance themselves from the Pochettino appointment, meaning they're trying to be like, hey, it wasn't my idea. I mean, do you understand the state of this football club where there are certain individuals who are part of recruitment, who are part of the process of hiring the manager, now putting their hand up and saying, hey, what are you looking at me for? It's not my fault. I wasn't the one advocating for Mauricio Pochettino. So this is the issue with the consortium. This is what happens when you have, I don't know, the whole meaning to having two sporting directors. It took us so long to come to the conclusion of getting Mauricio Pochettino. If you remember, I think we interviewed Nagelsmann. I think we interviewed Enrique. There were a whole heap of other people in the shortlist. I mean, this is not how it's meant to be. You're not meant to run the football club like this. You're meant to know who you want, and you hone in on that person and you bring them in. When you're interviewing anyone and everyone, it just tells you you've got no idea as to where you want to go with this football club. You're basically just putting a product out there and asking people to say, what can you do with this product? You tell me. You sell yourself to me. We don't know what we want. You tell us what we may want. It's crazy to see this. And this isn't good. This is the whole part of that divide. And it further goes on to say, let me just show you this. This is coming from Chelsea Source. Update, there is still a divide in the Chelsea board, with some believing Pochettino has not done badly this season. There are genuinely people inside the camp that think Pochettino hasn't done badly this season and should have more excuse me, should have more time considering factors such as abnormal injuries he has suffered with, as well as domestic success in the sense of reaching Wembley twice and there still being a chance of silverware. There's also been fingers pointed at success when it comes to expected points and goals, and the underlying data suggests things may improve in time. So it's crazy. You've got one side saying, hey, don't look at me. I didn't want to hire him. And then you've got another side saying, hey, look at all these achievements. Achievements, Wembley twice. The fact that we've lost the final to a baby Liverpool team, to kids, Liverpool kids, is that's not the problem. Data suggests that our expected points should be higher. We should, and goals as well. We've been scoring goals. But how long are we going to keep hinging on this expected points thing? The bottom line is we're not getting points against Burnley. We're not getting points against, Sheffield United, two bottom teams. And we are what, 9th, 10th, whatever the case is? And our football is chaotic. It's got nothing to do with data. It's got nothing to do with these expected goals and expected points. We've been pathetic. Okay, maybe we can say a few things about injuries to key players like Nkunku and Reece James, no problem. But you should still have enough quality, and I still believe we have enough quality to play some form of good football. You cannot be this oblivious. And this is why I don't want to look too much into Pochettino in this video, because obviously we've taken care of that. We've harped on about Pochettino, how incapable he is, how incompetent he is. But I blame the people that have put him there. Owners, the board members. You can't be this blind. You really cannot be this blind. In fact, you being in charge, you have the most responsibility and you should take the most accountability. You should have the most accountability. The fact that you're allowing this to continue. Now, many can say, well, Miz, what can we do now? Do you know what? I'm starting to think that there's only a few more games left anyway. And I'm not really sure whether we're going to do anything in terms of making it into the European positions. If this nonsense continues, and to be honest, it's probably a bit too late. I'd rather just get rid of the manager and just let the team run on its own. The manager doesn't have any tactics anyway. He said he doesn't care about tactics. He's just there for the players. Might as well just let the players run their own show. Have an assistant manager or whoever it is. Maybe just get Joe Shields or something for the time being. Whoever. I'm just throwing a name out there. Joe Shields probably not qualified. Pochettino, if you sack him, he'll probably take everyone. But get someone in the interim for few games. Oh, just put Thiago Silva. Put Thiago Silva as a player manager for the time being. Either way, even if you do get rid of Pochettino at the end of this season, you're still going to have to pay him that remaining 1 year of his contract. I understand you don't want to bring in a new manager right now because that's an extra cost to this financial year. I get that. But if you get rid of Poch, you don't have to pay him out straight away. You don't have to incur that expense right now. You can just say to Poch, look, you're gone. You've been relieved of your duty. We'll give you the rest of your money over the next season. We'll keep paying you. But you no longer need to be here. But the fact that our owners and our board members are not doing that, aren't even thinking about this, I'm not really sure whether they are. I fully think they're going to give Pochettino another chance next season. I really do. The fact that they're in this mind frame is quite crazy. And here's more evidence. Max saying, not going anywhere. I think he was replying to a particular person on Twitter, not saying, what's the update on Pochettino? And this is what Max had to say, not going anywhere. Individual errors seen as fixable by board and unlucky and not Poch's fault. Players don't mind him and fans not actively against him, so not seen as like a Potter situation. I think if he leaves, it'll be briefed as parting ways rather than a sacking. There you go. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Our fears, all the fear that we had in terms of, these players, they tend to like him because he's a friend. He's a good friend. He's always having barbecues with these players. There's no sense of pressure. Individual errors seem to be fixable. Okay, well, it's been 10 months in this season and we've had plethora of individual errors all throughout the season. Why hasn't it been addressed as yet? Why is it taking so long? You think it's just as simple as, oh, let's bring in a few more new players and it's all going to be fixed? Really? Okay. No problems. I'm keen to see next season with Pochettino. I really am. I want to see if this can be, changed. And they're right. People at Stamford Bridge at home, all of these, underwhelming results and all of this poor negative results. There's not much been done. Fans are not really in uproar. They might boo here and there, but majority of the fans, it seems like they've accepted the future, accepted the fate. So, ladies and gentlemen, look, it's peak at the moment. It really is. I don't think much is going to change. And this time around, ladies and gentlemen, I really do think the owners are not going to buckle the last time they did with Graham Potter when the fans gave the pressure. They're not going to buckle. They've doubled down. We've seen Todd Bowley say that we are staying the course. So let me know. Now, these are some of the other commentary that's coming from Oliver, whoever this brother is. Oliver Kay, senior football writer of The Athletic. Okay, so let's check this out. Simon Phillips was actually tweeting this out. It is legitimate to wonder whether Mauricio Pochettino has what it takes to unlock the potential in the Chelsea squad. But the more you look at Chelsea, the more it becomes apparent. This melee goes far deeper than the manager. This is exactly what we said. When there is divide upstairs, it's far deeper than the manager. It is almost as if signing more young, unproven players than a manager knows what to do with, giving some of them 7-year contracts is a recipe for confusion and complacency rather than a stroke of genius. This is the thing. Owners, they thought they found a loophole with the amortization over longer period of the contract. But some of these players are now stuck here. It'll be very difficult to get rid of. There was no need to get so many of these players, man, honestly. We need a little bit more experienced players. We need a little bit more players that have the know-how of navigating through a grueling Premier League season. Get us to where we really need to be in European position. It really hurts me, ladies and gentlemen, to watch, Champions League matches and feeling sad that Chelsea are not in it. I was actually watching Arsenal versus Bayern Munich. Man, what a game, man. Come on, Bayern Munich. Still, that match is going on. It's just clicked off after halftime. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, this is sad. Sorry state. Even Pochettino's fiercest critic might concede that for all the talent and potential in the Chelsea squad, there is also a distinct shortage of players with the right combination of hunger and know-how. Absolutely. I mean, was there a need to get someone like, let's say, for example, Mudryk or, Madueke or Nicholas Jackson? I mean, these I feel like are secondary players that you build, they come off the bench, and eventually they take over once they gain the experience. And you have top quality, top-notch experienced players to start things off with. We've got abundance of experience in the highest level. And then you have these players come off the bench. But no, in our case, we've got Nicholas Jackson, Madueke, Mudryk, and many more. We have thrown these players into the deep end and asked them, go on then, rectify Chelsea Football Club. The whole thing is a mess at Chelsea, but it requires patience, not because there is any certainty that patience will pay off, but because having spent such a huge amount of money is in such an extreme manner, Chelsea's decision makers have left themselves with little choice, either financially or strategically, but to hope that these players come good. Ladies and gentlemen, after spending all of this money, 1 billion worth, what we're hinging on is hope. The entire project, the entire direction, the entire philosophy of this club under the new ownership is purely hinging on, Ya Allah, look after ourselves. That's what it's hinging on. It's actually got no, there's no precedence. As I keep saying, there's no club, a top club that has done this style of model and actually been successful. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me know your thoughts about everything we spoke about, especially the divide in the Chelsea board. This is a huge concern. This is a huge concern, and this is, I suppose, is a massive downfall, sort of like a massive negative point of a consortium. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, hope you guys have enjoyed this. Smash the like button if you're here for the first time. Subscribe, hit the bell notification to stay in touch with all my content. Until next time, everyone, take care. See ya.